Good morning, dear students. Today we have new topic, and first of all I want to introduce myself. I am Sərcan Sadiqovas, and today we are going to learn about English as a global language, and grammar is modal verb. First of all, I want to give some information about importance of English language. Why is it so important, and why should we use English language in our career or in our daily life? So, we know that English is a global language, and people often talk English as a global language or lingua franca. And we can say that approximately 350 million people speak English as a first language, and about 430 million people speak it as a second language. And that's why we can confidently say that there are English speakers in most countries around the world. And but it is interesting that why is English so popular, and why has it become global language? That's why we can answer in this way that people often call English as an international language of business, and it is increasingly true, because international trade expands every year, bringing new countries into contact. And also many of the best MBA programs are taught in English language, and so speaking it well and accurately will ensure also the good positions, and it also can put in position to get the best training and credentials. And English is the official language of 67 countries, and that's why it is called lingua franca or global language. And English is perhaps most commonly associated with the United States, where approximately 230 million native speakers are there. And that's why it makes the United States the first largest English-speaking country. And the next one is United Kingdom, where approximately 6 million native speakers are there. And that's why it makes United Kingdom the second largest English-speaking country. And nevertheless, there are two different official languages in Canada, but Canada has the third largest English-speaking country. And also we can say, except these countries, there are also other countries in the world, and that English is considered primary language there. And from this point of view, it is said that English is lingua franca. And if your ambitions lie in science or medicine, you can't neglect English either. And much of the technical terminology is based on English language. And if you want to learn the latest developments and discoveries, you will read about them in journals, in research reports published in English. No matter whether the scientists who wrote them are from China or Norway, and that's why it is important to learn English language if we have aims, if we have dreams about our career, about science. And English also opens doors in the academic world, as well as studying, teaching, and attending international conferences are some of the good ways, are some of the important ways to success in academia. And in order to speak at these conferences or publish a new article, a new book in foreign journals, excellent English is important. And in order to do all these things, we should try to learn English deeply, and in order to improve our career, and in order to demonstrate our skills around the world. And journalists and writers around the world are finding a good command of English language in order to be increasingly useful skill. And even if you are writing your articles or doing your interviews in your native language, but it's also possible to with good English we can get background material from international via services, and also magazines, from papers around the world. And also we can interview foreign businessmen, diplomats, and maybe even get sent to cover overseas stories. And that's why it's really beneficial for us, and also it will be productive for us. If you want a career in travel, English is absolutely essential, because as the international language of aviation, pilots and cabin crew all need to speak English language. And also it's important that even if you are not up in the air, and speaking English accurately, also speaking English well, will ensure you can communicate with clients or suppliers from around the world. And from this point of view, all these criteria make English language really important and beneficial for us. And that's why today, every year, 23rd of April is considered or is celebrated as an English language day. And that's why it is obvious that we need English language today. And now I'm going to speak about the importance of English language in our career or maybe in personality development. And we can promote our career thanks to English language. We can improve in our career because it's really important language, and we can easily promote in our career studying or using English language in our career. And the next one is English is important and it plays an important role in personal development. It means it's important in sharpens our personality, and also we can attract other people, their attention, and in front of while we use English language or while we make any lecture or any speech in front of them, and it's really important. And of course we can do all these things with excellent English. That's why we need academic English in order to attract everybody. And we say that English language is really important, but there are other reasons. I think they are top reasons that make good impression on us, and we try to be eager to learn English language. And the reasons are the followings. First of all, simplicity is key. What it means? It means English is a relatively simple language, and it has simple grammar, simpler plural form, and straightforward verb conjugation, and it's mostly gender neutral. All these criteria make English language simpler than some other languages in the world. And the next criteria is ABC, easy as 1, 2, or 3. It means English language, English alphabet is really easier than others, because it is really easy to count or to learn English alphabet. And the next one, third one, online research. Online research, we can say that today many websites are written in English language. And studying English well or improving our English language, we can boost our knowledge. And the next one is valuable experience. We know that learning a new language requires us a lot of time, patience. So being able to elucidate this impressive skill in front of others and can boost our CV. And the next one is meet new people. Studying at English language course will help us to meet interesting people. And it's also important we have chance, in this way we have good opportunity to meet new people from the world. And also in this way, studying English good, we are aware of the new cultures, new traditions, and also different cultures. It's really amazing. And the last one is language of the media industry. We know that English is the most prevalent language used in TV series or movies, and that's why learning English we will be able to enjoy the latest blockbusters. And all these criteria, all these reasons are really important, and they make English language important, and that's why we should try to learn deeply in order to express ourselves accurately. And in order to measure learners' language proficiency, CEFR is really important. And actually CEFR doesn't describe the language in terms of number of vocabulary words or its grammar and so on. But actually CEFR focuses on what people can do with the language, how they can demonstrate their language skill, how they can use English language. And for example, student at level B1 can give descriptions on a variety of forms of topics related to their interest. Or students at C1, they actually use clear answers, or they give clear answers, well-structured descriptions of complex subjects. And CEFR is really beneficial, and it is worth to mention here that it is just not only for English language, but also other language. And if we want to learn a new language, it's a really good way to determine our proficiency level in a new language. And that's why CEFR can be used for any language. And in this way, it's really helpful to determine our proficiency. It can be really beneficial and productive for us. And actually, it is seen that CEFR has 6 levels, and they are firstly A1 beginner, A2 elementary, B1 intermediate, B2 upper intermediate, C1 advanced, and C2 mastery. All these levels are important, and we can improve ourselves, our proficiency, our language proficiency, and step by step. For example, first we try to learn the basic things, normal things, just ordinary things in our daily life, and then we can improve our language by using these criteria, by using these levels. And then we are aware that English language skills depend upon 4 core skills. And they are actually listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. All these skills are important. And just we shouldn't pay attention only to one of them. And if we want to be really successful in English language, and if we want to deepen our English language, we should follow all these skills, because they are connected with one another, and that's why it's important to pay attention to all the skills. And firstly, listening skills. Listening skills, it improves the imagination and vocabulary of a learner. It's really, I can say, essential. And because by listening to any material, to any song, maybe movies, we can improve our language, just not only our listening skill, but also our speaking skills. And the second one is speaking skills. When a learner speaks, he gets to know his mistakes, and also he can improve his English. And also I always recommend my students, and if they want to be successful in their speaking sections, they should try to record their voice while speaking. And after recording, they can listen their voice, and from time to time they can determine their mistakes, and in the next section, in the next level, they have a chance to improve or correct their mistakes. And that's why recording our voices can be beneficial for us in order to improve our speaking skills. And the next one is reading skills. Reading a book or a passage helps improve the vocabulary and also concentration. And we can say that reading is important again, because by reading we can improve our concentration, and also we get a lot of vocabulary, we can improve our word stock, and that's why reading a book or any article, any material related to our subject, related to our profession is really beneficial. And the last one is writing skills. When we write, we get to know what we are writing or the spellings of words. And writing section or writing skill is important because we have opportunity to correct our spelling mistakes. And from time to time we are adaptized, and we can easily determine where we have some difficulties or where we have some problems about our writing skills. And if a student masters all these skills, then his English will automatically improve and gain confidence. And it is really important to gain our self-confidence. And if we do all these criteria accurately, or we can follow these skills, we can really be beneficial and productive. And also we can feel self-confidence. And it's also important things, an impressive factor in learning new language. And the next one, today I am going to explain our new grammar, and it's about modal verbs. Modal verbs are part of our grammar, and they play also important role. And modal verbs have their own characteristic, own functions. First of all, I want to say that they don't express action. Actually, they express attitude towards action. For example, they can indicate possibility, impossibility, importance or certain, and so on. And we know that modal verbs have main characteristics and main functions such as the followings. First, modal verbs are never used alone in a sentence. And second one, after them, the absolute infinitive form is used without to. And we don't use to after modal verbs. But we know that there are some exceptions. They are have to, has to, ought to, and be able to. They are exceptions, and we use to after all these verbs. And the next one is the interrogative and negative forms of modal verbs are formed by themselves, not just by the auxiliary verbs, do or did. And there are also exceptions. Have to and also had to. Their interrogative form is used by adding auxiliary verb do or did. And the next one is modal verbs don't accept the endings s or es in the third person singular. And it means while we want to form third person singular, at that time we cannot add s or es to the end of the modal verb. We just only use itself. And they don't have all tense forms. Most of them have only the one tense form, and that's why it is the important function of modal verbs. And the next modal verbs, we know that the most important modal verbs in English grammar are can, may, must, will, shall, ought to, need, dare, and also there are some equivalents for these modal verbs. First of all, we use modals to show if we believe something is certain, possible, or impossible. For example, we can say, my keys must be in the car, or it might rain tomorrow, or that can't be Peter's coat because it is too small. The first sentence is about certain, and the next one possibility, and the last one impossibility. And we also use them to talk about ability, ask permission, make request, and offers. And first sentence we can say I can't swim. It means I am not able to swim, and it's related to ability. And the next one, may I ask a question? It's about ask permission. And the next one, could I have some tea, please? It's about make request. And the last one, would you like some help? It's about offers. If we want to offer anything to somebody, in that situation we can use the last sentence. Would you like some help, or would you like some coffee? Would you like some tea? And so on. And they are about the ability, ask permission, and make requests and offers. And the next possibility, we use may, might, or could be to say that something is possible but not certain. It means we can explain this function with some examples. For example, firstly, they may come by car. Maybe they will come by car. And the next one, they might be at home. Maybe they are at home. If we don't hurry, we could be late. Maybe we will be late. And we use can to make general statements about possibility. And it can be very cold here in winter. It means it's really cold here in the winter. It is actually sometimes cold here. And the next one, you can easily get lost in this town. People often get lost in this town, and their meaning are equal. And possibility is also another form of modal verb. And the next one, we should try to be careful because we don't use can to talk about specific action or specific events. For example, we can say, where is John? In answer, we can answer, I am not sure. He may be in his office, or he might be in his office, or he could be in his office. But in this sentence, we cannot use modal verb can. We cannot say can. And that's why we should notice the difference between these modal verbs. And if we can determine their functions, we can easily choose their correct place. And in order to analyze this function, we can say the dog can be dangerous. It means the dogs sometimes are dangerous, I know. But the dog may be dangerous, or might be dangerous, or could be dangerous. It means perhaps the dogs are dangerous, but I don't know. In first sentence, I know. Sometimes dogs can be dangerous. But in the next one, we cannot say, because I don't know. Maybe, perhaps the dogs are dangerous. And ability. We can say, use can to speak about ability. And we want to show our ability in any field. For example, we can say, I can speak English very well. Or I can translate difficult articles from target language into source language, or etc. And also we can use in negative form, in interrogative form. Can you speak English well? Or I can't speak English well. And we can say that in negative form, we add not after can. And he can speak, or he can't speak English very well. And we use could and couldn't to talk about past tense form. And the past tense form of can is could. And it's about also ability, we can say. We are able to do anything, but in the past tense form. For example, she could speak several languages last year. Maybe she couldn't see you last day, or I couldn't see you last day. All these things are possible to use and related to ability. And if we want our ability, we can use can and also can't. The next one, can, is equal to be able to. It means they are equivalent, synonyms. And the equivalent of can is considered to be able to. But unlike can, to be able to has person forms and also tense forms. First of all, to be able to, in present form, we can say, I am able to speak English language, or he is able to speak English language, or we are able to speak English language. In also negative form, we say we are not able to speak English language, or I am not able to speak English language, or etc. And the interrogative form, we say, is he able to speak English language, or are you able to speak English language, and etc. And negative form, as we mentioned before, we say I am not able to speak English language. And past tense form. Past tense form to be able to use as was and were able to. For example, last year I was able to translate difficult articles in original. Maybe we were able to translate. And also in negative form we say, as we mentioned before, like I am able to, I am not able to, and here in the past tense form we say I wasn't able to, or we weren't able to. And in the future tense form we can say we will be able to speak English language, or he will be able to speak English language. In negative form we say we will not be speak English very well, or we will not be able to speak English very well, or will we be able to speak English very well, in interrogative form we can say. And the modal verb can indicates future action. It means we can go there next week, or we can do this activity for the next day, and etc. And also the modal verb could express doubt in an interrogative sentence. Could it be raining? It means we want to express doubt. We have some suspicions about the action. So we use could in the interrogative form. And asking for permission. I want to say that sometimes also we use can while we want to ask any permission. For example, can I ask a question please? Or can we go home now? But we should try to pay attention to the matter that instead of can, we can use could, because it is more formal and also polite form than can. Could I ask a question please? Or could we go home now? Another formal and polite way in order to express permission, we can use may. For example, may I ask a question please? Or may we go home now? And accept permission, also we can use refusing permission. For example, we use can't and may not to refuse any permission, or say that someone or something is impossible, or they don't have permission. For example, you can't go home yet, or you cannot ask any question. And the next one is offers and invitations. We use sometimes can I to make offers. For example, can I help you? Or can I do that for you? And instead of can I, we also use shall I. Shall I do that for you? Or shall I help you? If we want to make any offers and invitation, can I and shall I are used in the situation. Related to any situations, can I and shall I are possible to use. And the next one is possibility and impossibility. We use could to show that something is possible but not certain. For example, they could come by car. Maybe they will come by car. Or the next sentence, they could be at home. Maybe they are at home. We use can't or cannot to say that something is impossible. That can't be true or cannot be serious. In these situations, we can express possibility and impossibility by using could and also can. The will and would. We use will to express beliefs about future or present, and also to talk about what people want to do or what they are willing to do, and to make promises, offers, and requests. Would is the past tense form of will, because it is a past tense form. And we also use would instead of will in the past tense form for the following reasons. For example, we want to talk about the past and to talk about hypothesis, and when we imagine something in the situation. And the last one for politeness. And it's also possible to use would for politeness situation. For example, would you like some coffee maybe? And the next, I wanted to give some information about must and have to. Sometimes we are confused by using them because nevertheless they are equal, they are synonyms, but there are some differences between them. But must doesn't have tense form. We have only must we can use must in present tense. For example, in past tense and in future tense, we have no chance to use must. And instead of must, we use here have to, has to in present simple, and also in past simple we can say had to. In the future simple we say will have to. For example, I must do these things in time, or instead of that sentence we can say I have to. But I wanted to say that both must and have to express obligation and necessity. But there are some small differences. What they are? Must expresses the speaker's feelings, whereas have to expresses above all impressional idea. And first of all, our sentence is so: you must come. It means you are obliged to come, and I require you to come. The next sentence is also you have to come. Again, you are obliged to come, but there is a rule requiring you to come. And in order to correct place the modal verbs must and have to, we should try to understand and we should try to notice the difference between them. Have to mainly expresses general obligations, but must is used for specific obligations. For example, I have to brush my teeth twice a day. And the next one, I must tell you something. The first sentence is about obligation, but general obligation. And the second sentence is specific obligation. And that's why they differ each other. And should and ought to. Should is used for giving or asking advice, for advice. For example, you should stop worrying about it. Should I call him and apologize? Maybe you should go to the library. And I should wait a little longer if I were you. Ought to is a semi-modal verb. It means in some ways it is like a modal verb, or in some ways it is like a main verb. And for instance, unlike modal verbs, it is followed by to. But like modal verbs, it doesn't change form for person. And we don't add any suffix or s to the end of this modal verb. And for example, there are also another examples about that rule. I ought to phone my parents, or it ought to be easy now. And that's why it's called semi-modal verb. And we can use at the same situations should and ought to. And if we want to give any advice or asking any advice. And the next, need. Need is also another modal verb that is called semi-modal verb. And it's also in some ways like it is like a modal verb, and in some ways it's like a main verb. We use need mostly in the negative form to indicate that there is no obligation, no necessity. For example, you needn't take off your shoes. You needn't translate this text For example, we can say, and you need learn English if you want to gain success in your career. You need English if you want to broaden your outlook. You need English if you want to be aware of the many resources related to your subject, related to your profession. And need he speak in source language or in target language. And also in the negative and interrogative form, we use need. And if we say, if we want to use need as a main verb, we should say, I need to help you. And because here we use to help. And if we want to use this modal need as a modal verb, we should say, I need help you. We use without to. And the next one is there. There is also semi-modal verb, and when we use there as a modal verb, we don't find to plus verb after verb, and we form question and negative forms without the auxiliary verb, just by there. And we don't apply the ending form to the end of the there, and also we don't add is to the end of third person singular. For example, we can say, you dare work, or you dare to speak English, you dare speak English, you dare help your brother, or you dare do anything, nevertheless you are in a tough situation. And we can also say, you dare not. As a modal verb, we use only dare. But as a main verb, we can say, you dare to speak, you dare to help. And we can say that if we use to, with to, that time it is called main verb. But if we use without to, it is called modal verb. And thank you for your attention, my dear students. And that's all for today, and see you in the next lessons.